Welcome to Friday in 5 Minutes with KeRusso. I hope you enjoyed your Monday off. I did. We're going to be spending time together on Fridays for a while now. And we're going to take a different tack. In the past, what I've done is I've walked with you through different books of the Bible. And others have joined me in this because, we believe that it's important to know how to read a book of the Bible, not just a text, a single verse. Sometimes we take verses out of their context and make them say things that God never intended for them to say. And maybe one of our glaring failures is that we've forgotten, or maybe we never learned how to deal with a whole book of the Bible. And each one is special in its own right. So we might come back to those. Right now, I want to take a different tack, and I just want to share with you a storyline. A story of a man who appears in different books of the Old Testament, just a few of them. And his story is not long, but it's significant. His name may not ring a bell with you. Some of you may know the name Korah, Korah. You may know some of his story. You may know all of his story. My guess is you probably won't know all of his story. And I want to share with you some things that have been, that I've picked up on as I've gone through the scriptures and what I've learned about this guy. And it's fascinating. It's a story of humble beginnings. It's a story of moving out of oppression and moving into favor and moving into judgment and moving into redemption and moving into joy. Now maybe you can relate to that, and maybe you are on the same kind of a storyline, the same kind of trajectory in your life, and you might be in one of those places. And especially if you feel like you're in a place of judgment, you might want to know there's a possibility for something better. Now, the judgment that we're talking about, because we make bad decisions, and this story of Korah happens because Korah made a bad decision, and there were some heavy consequences that were paid. The bad decision he made really impacted his relationship with God, and that's what I hope you will focus on, because you see, it's not good for us to mess up in any relationship and make bad decisions that hurt other people. But we need to understand it is really important for us to take care of this relationship we have with God. We sure don't want God angry with us. And that's possible. We don't want that. And you may be in a place where you feel like, well, God is angry with you. There are things that you've done, bad decisions that you've made, that you don't know there's any relief from. Well, there is. And I want to share this with you. So we're going to look at Korah's story. Now, let me just give you a little bit to look at today. If you look in Exodus chapter 6, read that chapter, and you're going to come across a genealogy, and you don't speed read through it, but read it. You get down to verse 21. Yeah, 21. You're going to come across Korah's name for the first time. Now, here's what you'll find out. Korah is the great-great-great-great-grandson of Abraham, the father of Israel. He is the great-grandson of Levi, the father of the tribe of Levites. He is first cousins with Moses and Aaron. So here's a guy who has some really good connections. And because he's in the tribe of tribe of Levi, he has a really good connection with God. You'll read in Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 9, where God tells the tells Levites, I'm not giving you any land in the land of Canaan because I'm going to be your inheritance. Now, a little side note there. We talk about the 12 tribes of Israel because there are 12 tribes that inherited the land. There are actually 13 tribes of Israel. And because Joseph had two sons that became inheritance as far as land was concerned, and so that added to the number of tribes. So there's 13 tribes, but only 12 received land, and Levi was the tribe that did not receive land because God was their inheritance. So when you read Exodus chapter 6, you're going to read about this guy, come across this guy named Korah, and just know that, he started off as a Hebrew slave, but he had really good connections. When God built the nation, Korah was in a really good spot. God favored him. And we're going to look at his life and how he messed it up and how God redeemed it. So check back with us next Friday, and we'll talk more about Korah. Have a blessed day, and thank you for your time here.